right. Yo, what's going on? How's everybody doing today? Happy Thursday. It is Thursday, December 28th. We are just past Christmas and we are just near New Year's. And I hope that everyone is doing well today. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the Risen Fallen podcast. I am your host, Mark Henriksen. And if you're brand new to this show, then what you can expect is open and authentic conversations about things like mental health and self-development and how to get your life moving in the right direction. If you're not feeling good about where you are right now, at least having the confidence knowing that you are getting one step closer to who you'd like to be every single day, and along the way lifting other people up as well. If you're not new to this show, then thank you very much for coming back and supporting the journey, supporting the cause, and supporting the idea. Whether you're brand new to this or not, I just want to say thank you very much from the bottom of my heart for coming here and joining in on the conversation and being around for those of you who are around for other people. We do appreciate you. And so without further ado, thank you for joining me on the couch today. I've been chilling on the couch the last couple episodes. I've been recording with Teddy, and so I thought, to be 100% blunt, I left all my podcast stuff out here, and I thought I wanted to record an episode, and all the stuff was here, so I thought we're going to do it on the couch today. I'm chilling out. I got home from work a little bit early today. I'm recording this about a week in advance, and so it's just before Christmas for me today, but as we listen to this, obviously we've already celebrated, and I am anticipating that right now, just after Christmas and just before New Year's, it's kind of slowing down a little bit in regards to hanging out with family and getting all the festivities done, and so usually like the week between Christmas and New Year's is kind of a weird lull. And so, I don't know. I'm just, today I'm chilling out. And so I thought it's going to be the last episode of the year that I record, and it's right before New Year's. I thought, maybe I could think of a New Year's story, and it turns out that, the fact that I can't remember my New Year's has nothing to do with, partying or drinking or anything like that, because I don't really do that anymore. However, obviously, I can't really remember that many New Year's Eves or New Year's days that were super, memorable. Maybe it's just because I have bad memory, or maybe it's because of the partying I did in the past has affected my memory, but I can't really remember any memorable New Year's is. And so, I don't know if we've celebrated New Year's together in the past and you remember something, maybe you can remind me of those things. Hopefully they're good things, but I don't really remember very many New Year's. And like I said, it's not because I'm always drunk and partying and doing things like that. The last 4 years, I don't think I participated in anything like that that I can remember. But New Year's for me has always been a very reflective time. And, a lot of people talk a lot about, goal setting and envisioning the future, visualizing the future, and maybe thinking about what's going to be coming in the next year. It's very easy to think about these New Year's resolutions. And for me, I think a lot of the time that practice is obviously something that I take part in, planning for the next year, planning for the next, month, sometimes planning for the next week, or sometimes planning for the next day. Like obviously planning out future goals and future to-do list tasks that I want to achieve and things that I'd like to overcome is something that I consistently think about. But before I can do that, a lot of the time, I have to be reflective first. And so every last week of December for me is always kind of an emotional time period, because it's kind of reflecting back on a lot of the things in the past year. And so there's a lot of obviously ups and downs when I'm looking back at my past year and when I'm looking at the last 12 months of things that, sometimes there's things that I'm really proud of, and there's sometimes that things that I'm not so proud of. I find myself a lot of the time looking at some of the negative things in my life and some of the things that particularly happened in the past 12 months, the past year. I like to reflect on those things and think about, maybe how they happened, why they happened, what my role was or my responsibility, how accountable I can hold myself to those, the things that didn't turn out the way that I wanted them to. I like to kind of look at, my role in that and then try and do my best to not repeat those things or to try and learn from the lessons that I've had, that I've learned from over the past year, so that if I encounter similar challenges that I've faced in the last year, in the upcoming year, then perhaps I can, devise a plan or have some sort of, like a contingency plan, in order to overcome those challenges if I face similar ones again in the future. A lot of the times as well, reflecting on some of the positive sides, I try and think about I try and think about some of the things that I did right and some of the things that I've done well to achieve some of the things that I'm proud of, some of the things that I'm stoked about that happened in the last year. And I try and think about how can I recreate that? How can I grow that? How can I replicate that? How can I scale that? How can I try and look at those things and I think, how can I repeat more of those things? Because it felt great when I did it and it made a positive impact in my life. And obviously I want those things to happen again. And so ultimately, like I said, when I reflect on some of the things that have happened in the last year, it's easy to get emotional. It's easy to look back at some of the things that have happened to us, and we have good feelings about certain things. We have negative feelings about other things. And what I wanted to bring up today is something that I've been trying my very best to do this year, because I haven't been able to do this in the past. And so one of the things that I've been trying to do is to reflect without using my emotions, or without incorporating them in the ways that naturally come about. Like a lot of the times I reflect back on certain events that happened, and I have my own emotion that I've already attached to that thing, whether it be positive or negative. You can, take an example, say like in your career, in your work, or maybe you face a challenge, maybe you lost an employee, and you have negative feelings towards that. You have negative, there's a connotation towards it that's not positive. And a lot of the time we look back at those things, we think, why did I lose that employee? What happened? What were the events that happened before that happened? And try and look unemotionally at these things and think, was this a good event or a bad event? It could have been, there could have been negative of feelings attached to it, but at the end of the day, did it leave me in a worse position or in a better position? And, a lot of these things can be very difficult to decide or to figure out, is this a positive thing? Is this a negative thing? Well, sometimes it feels a little bit easier than not. But, sometimes it's not very obvious if it is a positive or a negative thing because, we attach our emotions to it. And because of the emotion that we felt at the time or the emotion that we feel when we reflect back on that thing, we associate the emotion that we feel with a positive or negative thing. And then we associate that event based on the emotion that we felt, as a positive event or a negative event. And I think that sometimes life has its gray areas. And so there's certain times where you can have an event happen to us and then you can feel a negative feeling or what you would consider to be a negative feeling. And you could think, oh, that was a negative event. But after reviewing, a few things that could have followed that thing, or it could have been, just with hindsight, looking back at it, I think a lot of the times we need to actually look at the consequences of the events that happen to us on a daily basis. And we need to think about, the consequences that reflect in our life. Was that a positive impact on you or a negative impact on you? And I think that if we can look at, first off the factual, objective, truth or facts about this thing, like, hey, when I look back at the end of the year, my bank account did go up or it did go down. When I look at the scale at the end of the year, my body weight went up, my body weight went down, my muscle mass went up, my body fat went up, whatever it could be. You look at the actual objective truth and the objective facts about where you've been working on in your life. If you've been working on your finances, if you've been working on your physique or your body, if you've been working on your career, if you've been working on your relationship, look at the objective results. Look at the objective facts and say, unemotionally, because there's sometimes we could do a lot of work and we could do a lot of output to try and create a result in an area of our life. Say for fitness, for example, we could do a lot of output. You could do a lot of workouts. You could do a lot of exercise. You could do a lot of stretching. You could do a lot of, paying attention to your diet and making sure that you eat all the right foods. And that's kind of like, your input, right? All the things that you contribute towards the goal. And so if your goal is to gain muscle and lose body fat, and you're thinking about your exercise, you're thinking about your meal plan that you're sticking to and eating all the right things, and you're sticking to all those things, you could say, hey, I worked so hard. But to actually reflect back on the objective result and the truth, which is, maybe you didn't gain as much muscle as you wanted to. Maybe you didn't lose as much body fat as you wanted to. Maybe you didn't make the changes that you're looking to make. And this can coincide with every, different area of your life. It could be financial. It could be, like I said, it could be any area of your life. But to not get emotional about it and say, hey, I worked so hard. I did all these things. I did all this. I did all that, whatever it could be. And I'm exhausted now. That would be like kind of the emotional review of it. But to review it unemotionally would be to look at the objective results and say, whatever it was that I did, obviously I was trying hard and I was, dedicated and disciplined and stuck to the plan. But at the end of the day, I didn't get the result I'm looking for. And so we're going to have to maybe change that plan. And that's an example of being able to analyze, or reflect on the objective results of something, as opposed to emotionally thinking about the way you feel about how something should have been, or the way you feel the results should look. Instead, looking at how they actually are, and then adjusting the game plan from there based on the facts that you're looking at. Instead of just saying like, hey, well, I worked really hard and I'm really proud of my effort. Sometimes that can be exhausting because we're not getting the result that we're looking for. And so the effort, the output, the input that you're putting in doesn't feel equivalent to the result that you're getting. And sometimes that's based off of, not doing it long enough. Sometimes it's based off of, not staying 100% disciplined to the plan. Sometimes it's based off of just having a shitty plan. And I think that a lot of the times, our plans and our thoughts and our ideas aren't as great as we think that they are. And so maybe when you're doing something for an extended period of time and you're like, hey, I'm getting emotional about this. I feel like my efforts aren't paying out. I think that that's when it's time for an unemotional reflection of the cold hard facts, the objective truth, and starting to reverse engineer your plan from there. Being like, look, I'm not getting the result that I want. And instead of burning myself out, I'm going to unemotionally reflect on this and think, this is the result that I've got. This is the result that I wanted. Now let's find out where this plan was broken and where these holes in my game may be. And I don't know if that makes sense to you guys. I'm just trying to think of, a way for me to reflect more productively, as opposed to feeling burnt out and feeling like my efforts aren't equivalent to the results that I'm expecting or the results that I'm getting. And so on that note, I think that's a beautiful place to wrap this up. I won't take up too much more of your time. We've had a couple of longer episodes, so I wanted to make this one a little bit more bite-sized. I know that this is a very busy season for a lot of people, and I'm not trying to add to your plate, but just wanted to give you this idea of a way that you could reflect back on your last year, maybe in your journal, maybe as you talk to your phone, or whatever you do to reflect. However you meditate on your your life. But that's pretty much it. I did want to as well just kind of give a little reminder for people as well. Holiday seasons can kind of be a little bit of a lonely time for a lot of people. I know that there is a lot of people that are blessed and they have a lot of people surrounding them that love them, whether that's family, friends, coworkers, people they work out with, whatever it could be. But there's also a lot of people out there that are spending the holidays alone. They're feeling a little bit more isolated. They're feeling a little bit more secluded. There's not as many activities to do in Canada here when winter rolls around as there is in summer. And so I get it. I know that these times can be dark and depressing, and it gets darker earlier, and the sun takes a little bit longer to come up, and everyone seems busy with their family and their friends. And so if you don't have those things or those people in your life, this season can be really rough on people. And so I just wanted to encourage you, if you're out there right now and you're suffering during the holiday season, you're not alone. And life can and will get better for you. I encourage you, please. The holiday season can be lonely. If you're feeling these negative things that I've been expressing, if that sounds relatable to you and you feel like you're a little bit lonely during the holiday season, I just wanted to encourage you to please reach out to somebody. It could be me, obviously, on my Instagram. You can reach out to me on DMs. It's @RisenFallen. You can chat with me there. But you don't have to chat with me if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't really want to. Just please, if you're feeling alone and you're feeling depressed and you're feeling bad during this holiday season, please reach out to somebody that you love, somebody that loves you. Just chat with them and say, hey, I'm feeling a little bit off. I'm feeling a little bit lonely. You think we could hang out, or do you think we could just chat on the phone? And if you're not feeling these terrible feelings during the holiday season, if you feel love, if you feel connected, if you feel surrounded by the people that love you and you're excited for the holiday season, try and extend that to somebody else. Just maybe make a post on your story that you encourage people to reach out to you. If they're feeling bad, make a comment, make a phone call to one of your friends and just check in with them and make sure that they're doing all right. And I think that if we can all kind of, be more mindful of how we're feeling, if we're feeling lonely, and be more mindful of, what we have to give, if we feel like we got a little bit of a surplus and we have enough to fill up someone else's cup as well. I just want to, I guess what I'm trying to say is I just want to try and help other people feel connected during this holiday season. And so if you know of a way that we can do that, please do reach out to me on Instagram. It's @RisenFallen. We can collectively work on that together. And other than that, hope you guys are doing well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I will check in with you guys on Monday in the new year. With all that being said, thank you guys very much for all the support that I got this year. It really does mean the world to me. This podcast, obviously, many of you may know, I don't make money off this. In fact, I pay to do this. A lot of this, I do it because I love it. It's not like I'm out here making money off any ads or anything like that. It's just me out here trying to spread a message and working with all the people that have been on this podcast and support this podcast and shoot me DMs or anything like that. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you guys so much. I love you all. I'm very thankful for you guys. I'm excited for the new year. I hope that you are too. On that note, I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll see you guys next year. Much love. Peace out. Love you all. Bye. And goodbye 2023 as well. Peace.